Castor is a film podcast filled with dubious opinions, plot spoilers, and a healthy sprinkling of bad language. Thanks for listening.
Take a much loved movie and stir in a different cast. Add a hint of nonsense for a flavor that will last. Garnish it with fun, film facts, it's food for the soul. It's a tasty, yummy, silly, funny movie casserole. Casserole.
Hello and welcome to Casserole. My name is Jim, and each fortnight myself and my two co-hosts, Sam and Nick, review one of cinema's much loved or unloved films with the aim of also serving you up a delicious recasting. But before we can get into all of that, of course, don't forget you can follow and subscribe to Casserole over on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, or wherever it is that you get your podcasts from. And of course, whilst you're there, don't forget to leave us those all-important 5-star reviews. And if you like what you hear, head on over to buymeacoffee.com/Casserole podcast, where you can leave us a nice little donation to help us improve our podcast.
I'll take a mocha. Little cheeky mocha. Yeah.
I do like a mocha.
I love a mocha. Or just any kind of iced coffee.
Do you just live to derail my intro?
Yeah. Pretty. A frappuccino.
Well, seeing as they've rudely introduced themselves, as I said, I am not alone. Joining me today for this trifle of a podcast, he is the spongy bass that without him there would be no rigidity. It's Nick.
Oh,
You do make us all stiffer.
thank you very much. I'm glad to have an effect on him.
Layering on top of him, he is the main substance, most people's favourite part of the trifle. He is the wibbly wobbly jelly. It's Sam. And as I said, my name is Jim. I am the lovely custard and cream topping on top. We are Casserole. Let's discuss a film.
Back to trifle though.
Yeah.
The thing about trifle is you
Yeah.
can't have a favourite part of the trifle, can you? Because I feel like
You can.
it has to. It's one of the ultimate examples of it has to be enjoyed as a whole.
Yeah, but you can still have a favourite part of a trifle.
I'm gonna go. Well, I haven't got. I'm not a big fan of trifles.
Whoa!
I know.
I think trifle is like the perfect dessert.
It's like a rare delight for me. When I do have it, it's good.
It's always a bit wet.
Then you're doing a trifle wrong.
Well, I just think
No, it's pretty.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it's wet.
I like
Someone
a
says wet.
flobby dessert. Don't get me wrong. Like my favourite dessert is bread and butter pudding.
Ugh.
You
Grim.
don't like?
Oh, I can't stand that. It's grim. Grim. It's just wet bread. It's just wet
I like
bread.
wet bread. Saves me chewing.
Do I look like a fucking duck?
A little bit, actually. More like a mallard.
Do you enjoy a dessert that you could guzzle?
Yeah, well, you can guzzle trifle. Like, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the thing with trifle is I haven't got a favourite part. Like, I don't really like it. My least favourite part is the sponge. Because whenever I had it, it used to be like fucking sherry-soaked sponge. And when you're a kid and they cut around like, you can have a bit of trifle, kid, and I'm like, I don't want it. It's fucking sherry. It tastes like ass. It tastes like lighter fluid and cream.
There's no need for that sherry on that sponge.
No, right?
I mean, the jelly in itself is liquid enough. Because
Well,
you're going to pour it on and then it's
And
going to set and it's going to soak up the jelly goodness.
I just feel
Don't
like
need
I've moved
sherry.
on from jelly and cream. Like, I'm not 10 anymore, you know?
No one moves on from
No one moves on from jelly and cream, mate.
I've moved on.
I do feel like we need to add, if you're listening and thinking that maybe energy feels a bit low, maybe we're not our usual quite so bubbly selves, fucking up.
It's fucking hot.
It is
guys.
really fucking hot.
We're all a bit jelly. We're all a bit jelly today.
I think my lorry in work today read like 29 at one point. I was like, this is too fucking hot.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't like to be a driver.
Yeah.
Not in there.
Even with aircon, it was too fucking hot.
Yeah.
I reckon the air quality in your lorry cabin, is that the right word?
Yeah.
Compartment?
It's 90% fart, I reckon.
It's radioactive.
It's, yeah.
And that's one thing I try not to do.
You tried
Is
to
fart in my lorry.
Wait, hang on. Let me just get this straight. 'cause
Farts are normally exclusively for outside the lorry.
the guy's been around my house maybe like half an hour before starting this. He's already had a couple of farts.
I've not.
So you farted.
I have not farted since we've been here.
Yeah, you did.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you did.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I haven't.
Yes,
I
you
have
did.
not farted since being here today.
You
Yes.
did.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
When?
Just
Like
before we
about
started
5
recording.
minutes ago.
Definitely didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
So, but my point was, but you admit you fart a lot here.
Yeah.
So you hold off in the cab, and the only person to smell it is you.
But
But around
yeah, because in my
others,
cab, it's a confined space.
Get around someone's house in their kitchen. Let
this-
them go.
Well, this is about 20 of my cab.
There's
This
also
is a luxury.
There's
This
also
is-
Still feels like
200% more people here.
It's only going to take 3 or 4 farts, and we've reached a quarter of that already.
Yeah.
For the air
I
quality,
haven't
it's
done
become,
one,
like,
but, you know.
as thick as trifle.
I imagine that, like, when you open the door to his cab, you can hear it, like, like, it's that thick. It's like you could cut the air with a knife.
No, like I say, that's one thing I exclusively try not to do is fart in my cab. Sometimes it can't be helped.
To be fair, I don't fart around other people much anyway, but I definitely, in the edit suite, I don't fart in there, because I just think... and also you can just imagine that, and then that happens to the point where, like, your CEO knocks on the door and be like, Sam, could you just, oh my god, what is that?
Do you shit in the cabin?
Where would I shit in the cabin?
I'm sure we spoke about this before.
Well,
Yeah, he's not got like an overnight truck, has he?
Have like a
Well, even in an
compartment.
overnight trunk, there's no toilet.
Do you know what? That reminds me, going back to Atlas, the one thing I did wonder is in the mech suits,
Yeah.
you're meant to be battling and everything, it's very intense, very likely.
If you get really scared.
A little bit of poop or wee.
I reckon there was definitely like a tube up a bum. Like almost like a colonic
No
irrigation
one
type
else's,
thing. A little,
but J-Lo's.
a little straight in the pup.
I mean,
Straight
they
in the
could have
cupboard.
just
You have
been...
to, as you climb in, you have to just lower yourself down into the poop tube,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then any issues, it's such
You've
fun.
not interfaced. It's hurting. I'm going to interface now. I don't worry about my interface. It's into my butt. That's the problem.
That's what he meant by saying we haven't 100%.
Yeah.
Done
Your
it.
poop tube's still out.
We haven't 100% linked up because she hadn't inserted the poop.
How can we be a full
Inside,
warrior?
Atlas. Let me inside.
Let me in.
So, yeah.
Let me in, shepherd.
So to move on from
I'll
farts
help you
and poo,
poo.
how have we been? I know it's only been a week since we've last recorded, but how have we been?
Hot,
Yeah.
good, hot and good.
Yeah, good, hot and good. Good, yeah, good. Although it's got hotter, I feel like the pollen's gone down a bit, which has
Yeah,
been good.
I said this to Nick in the
Yeah.
drive over. I've managed to actually have several nights in a row of sleeping through the night and not waking up coughing a lung up.
Nice.
He had a coughing fit as soon as he got in.
Yeah.
Closed the door, started coughing.
Start firing. He closed space, but there's someone else there.
Didn't do it a second before when he was outside the car.
Nice.
Got in and he started coughing.
Because I was trying to hold the
Hold
cough
it in
back. I was
until
trying
it
not.
got
I
in.
was trying my best to hold the cough back. As soon as I
Hello, Nick.
as soon as I opened the door and went to get in the car, it just went, no, you're coughing, mate. You're having it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
So yeah.
Yeah, good. What? I'll start. Fuck you.
Alright, mate.
I've
No need to be so aggressive.
no. Do you know what? Fuck you all. I'm not waiting for you to ask. I've watched the first 4 of the new series of The Boys.
Oh yeah, what
good.
season is that on now?
Season 4.
Wow, I think I only did 2.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, I've only just started watching season 3.
It's good. It's good. I won't give any spoilers, but if you enjoy the Human Centipede,
Yeah,
Or-
I've seen headlines about this. And I
Or-
was like,
or
I'm not going near that.
people losing their dick. Yeah, it's the season for you. It's all been good. Nick, over to you.
I think the only thing I can recall having watched this past week is a sort of average Netflix sort of reality documentary drama. I think it's called The Experiment or Locked Up The Experiment. And it's about a detention centre prison in America. And it's basically, I think it's like where people get sentenced first of all whilst they're awaiting like proper sentencing and stuff. So like they're in prison, they're in the detention centre, but it's not like, you know, some of them are in for like real big charges like murder or like capital theft, all that kind of stuff. But they've not gone on, I think, to like their next full-time sentence yet. And then they do like an experiment where like what's the person called that's in charge of the prison?
The warden.
The warden, thank you. Basically does an experiment where they're going to take away all the guards. They're going to install like CCTV in every cell all around the detention centre, and they kind of hand over power to the prisoners to run as like a democracy almost. And it just follows like how they.
Is this real?
Do that. Real, yeah. Yeah. It's okay. I think there's a lot of there's a lot of bravado going on and all that kind of stuff. Who's like the hardest?
Doesn't become like Lord of the Flies like straight away.
Do you know what's quite interesting in that? I think like so a lot of the older sort of veterans initially take over and try to impart like this is a democracy, right? This is a fucking democracy. Obviously not in a Cockney.
Oh, my fucking democracy, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I think what they've been up to so far, there's been like fights, they're all making hooch and all that kind of stuff. So I think it should have been shut down already. But I think they're letting it slide because it's good TV. And I think they're trying to say that they'll find their way eventually. How about you, Jim?
So I went away for the weekend. I went down to Devon Cliffs with the family. I had a weekend of no signal, so that was nice. Yeah, spent a bit of time on the beach, lots of swimming in the arcades. Little one
Swimming in the arcades?
Swimming in the arcades, yeah. Little one got a load of tat.
Frowned upon those.
Yeah.
Load of tat for his tokens that he earned, that kind of usual shit.
Nice.
Evening entertainment, usual shit. But, it's all about, it's not about the grown-ups anymore when you go to those kind of holidays. It's all about little one's enjoyment. He enjoyed himself, so we had a good time. Started watching a little anime over us on Disney Plus called Sandland, which I think is one of the last things that Akira Toriyama would have worked on before he passed away. And yeah, the film that we're reviewing today.
I mean, I've seen this film many times.
The film we're doing today, this was a heavy VHS rotation.
Yeah, it was a good
in my
one.
house back in the day.
It's another one where we seem to have done a lot, but in my mind, a lot of the kind of like The Mummy, Jurassic Park, Godzilla, Stargate, all those kind of films were in this kind of...
Oh, what a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
So the film we are doing today,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you've looked at the episode title.
You've read the title.
If you
What is it, guys?
If you have,
What is it?
If you haven't,
Message us if you think you know what it is.
if you haven't seen the episode title for whatever reason,
Just going blind.
you can take a clue by what day we're releasing it on, because we are shameless and we are releasing. We're not too proud to not try and dive in on shit like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, this week we're doing Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day.
But just a quick side note that we'll get you back.
Yeah. We don't really want you to celebrate this. 'Cause
I mean, even if it's just so we can, nail down these gun laws of yours finally, we will get you back.
yeah. I don't understand how a country can be like, we're all English, but now we've decided we're American. We're going to have this country. Disrespecting the king is what happened there.
Bloody believable.
And then the French being like, yeah, no, America, you should definitely do this. We will help you.
Yeah.
Those bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you listening, French Tom?
Yeah, French Tom.
Fuck you, French Tom.
Fuck you, French Tom.
So-
I blame you for the independence of America. Secede.
So, very briefly then.
Oh, yeah.
Briefly.
What is Independence Day? Well, it's the day in America.
On your thoughts on this film. Briefly.
Okay. Well, I
Is it
mean,
briefly? We're reviewing it.
No, we're
Yeah.
gonna brief thoughts, and then we're going to review it.
brief thoughts.
Thoughts.
Good enjoyment from me. Brain happy. Is that brief enough?
Okay.
I was very brief.
Okay, caveman Sam.
Release me. Is that iconic stuff in this film, right?
Yeah, there's some good.
There's some good
There's
stuff.
some good soundbites.
Welcome to Earth. Yeah, thanks, man. Saved up the next slap for Chris Rock.
What the hell is that smell?
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I know how to fly that. I saw it fly once. Are you sure? Are you sure, Mr. Smith?
But
Yeah.
this is another example of where there's enough sort of comedy and all right, relatively thin, but there is character development going on.
Yeah.
You really can forgive all of the.
Yeah, there's lots of plot holes.
Ridiculous plot holes.
But,
Doesn't matter.
you know, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It mattered. But
Rebel Moon, it mattered. Well, Rebel Moon,
doesn't
the
matter.
problem is there wasn't enough, good, fun stuff. It was just... If you're all plot hole, you're just a hole. Right? That's the thing. If you're all plot hole, you're just a hole.
you're just a gaping
Yeah, a wound. A wound of a film.
I'll tell you what, our ability to digress into
Yeah.
a monologue.
It is probably the most referenced film of all time now. I really like the film. Sorry, just looking at us, it's like, guys, it's meant to be
I'm just waiting for you to get yourself back on track.
Sorry, brief thoughts about this film. You've been.
I've been?
Yeah.
Have I been?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my brief thoughts. Yeah, I liked it. You go.
Yeah, I like it. I liked it. This was one of the biggest ones, I think, off the back of, what's this, 3 years after Jurassic Park?
No dinosaurs in it.
No dinosaurs in it.
No.
There's aliens in it.
Not one.
But this was one of the biggest. I remember it being like the effects in this film. When the aliens attack the major cities, the White House exploding, like from a spectacle of the effects perspective. This is one of the first times I remember being like really truly in awe of like the scale of like destruction on show, I think, and the scale of the effects of like the size of the alien spaceships and all that kind of stuff. And I think relatively thin characters. I'm not sure how well it's aged, but there's a lot of fun going on.
Yeah, I think again it's like that. It also came with the huge toy marketing extravaganza. You know.
Yeah.
I remember they had like the aliens. I had like the toys of the aliens, and each of them like you opened up their heads, and inside was like one of the little aliens. Yeah.
That's so cool.
That was so cool. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that alien design is
It's
good.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was different.
I don't think that gets enough credit. Yeah.
For a long time.
Because like biomechs, and it's still not really been done since.
I think they combined two of the pitches for the alien designs.
Oh, nice.
Like, what about take that one, but put it in that one? It's
Nice.
like a 3-bird roast, isn't it?
Right, it's a 2-bird roast, I guess. A 2 alien roast. Maybe. Well, to be fair, we don't know if there was another alien inside that little alien.
Jim's looking at us because he was like, brief thoughts.
What about a butt alien up the butt of the smaller alien inside the biomech?
There could have been.
Might have been a 3-bird roast.
We
Maybe it was a partridge.
Is that it? Maybe did that come back in the sequel, Alien Resurgence?
Yeah, it was alien rectum surgeons. That was what it was. Jim,
So I feel like I'm like a scientist behind a pane of glass.
Glass bulletproof?
And I've literally just thrown in like just something to a pair of monkeys and gone, right, you just watching you
Because
go
it's so
out.
hot, I'm feeling a little bit delirious.
You know what they say? You give an infinite number of monkeys an infinite number of typewriters, and they will write the works of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Or just us. We will write the works of Shakespeare between us.
Yeah, or Independence.
Give it enough
or
time.
The plot for it,
Yeah. Small aliens inside the butts of the small aliens.
I don't know what.
3-bird roast, Jim. Keep up.
I mean, it's such an unnecessary thing.
So what are your brief thoughts on this?
Speaking of unnecessary, hated this film.
Whoa.
Oh, really?
It's
Was this your first time watching it?
awful.
Wait, whoa.
It is
I didn't even really think... Oh my God.
Absolutely awful film. It is just a massive, gratuitous wankfest hoorah film for the USA. That's all it is. There was such a good opportunity to do a really, really cool alien invasion film here. And they just went, America, hoorah! Sorry, Japan. Sorry, the really weird,
Name another country.
stupid America. I'm getting to them. The ridiculous Englishmen, the three of them.
But bloody time.
Sorry, Germany. Sorry, France. Sorry, Russia. Sorry, Iraq. No, none of you get to have any input in this. All America. Hoorah!
I mean,
And we're going to save the day when a drunk Jeff Goldblum gives you the fucking answer. Woohoo! And they're all outshone when it comes to being an action star by a fucking golden Labrador Retriever. That dog is the biggest action star in that film.
That dog is amazing.
The biggest action star in that film. The rest of it, awful.
What about Randy Quaid?
Will Smith.
Hell, boys.
Will Smith, atrocious.
Whoa.
He is so repulsive in this film as an actor. Atrocious. Even Jeff Goldblum, I love that bloke, but he's awful in this film. And then fucking the epitome of it. Oh, Mr. President, don't go in. I'm an air pilot. Of course you're going to fucking go up, Mr. President, to save the day. Fucking America. Hoorah!
Yeah, to be fair.
We've now lost every American listener we ever have, but sorry, fucking ridiculous. And it is the most... And the only reason it's called Independence Day is because it's set on fucking July 4th. Nothing about regaining your independence.
Well,
No. No. There's nothing about regaining independence.
well, they do. The Earth gains its independence from the aliens.
No. Because all the aliens have done is they've hovered over it with the means of destroying the planet. They haven't And they haven't embedded everyone into slavery or anything like that. There's no revolution, whatever. There's no gaining your independence back. The only reason it's called Independence Day is because the film is set on July 4th. That is about the only bit of Independence Day that film has. The rest of it, nonsense.
So why is Rebel Moon called Rebel Moon?
It's a bunch of rebels, isn't it, mate?
On a moon.
On the moon.
Yeah. Independence.
He's got you there, mate.
But Independence Day sat on Independence Day.
Yeah, but the film itself had nothing to do with Independence Day.
But what about that
Beyond being
amazing
set on July
speech
4th.
that he gives?
Oh, well done, yeah. Woohoo! The world does not want your stupid American holiday.
I thought it was quite a nice sentiment, really.
I mean, what I need to admit to at this point is this was a film that I watched so many times as a youngster. It was on that video rotation so often that I could kind of bring myself to rewatch it this episode. So what I will say is I do absolutely agree that thinking back to the content and the themes of the film, there is certainly a very kind of gratuitous propaganda, America hurrah kind of thing going on. But it is a big budget American action.
Also called
adventure
Independence
film.
Day.
Sure, but they didn't need to be called Independence Day.
What do you
That's
call
what
it? Right.
No, what I'm saying is they
You've got a chance to
didn't have to. They didn't have to focus.
Invasion Day.
They didn't have. What I'm saying is they didn't have to focus solely on America. They could have included a lot more of these countries that they had the aliens hovering over.
Yeah.
But instead,
Well, yeah, we had a bloody good fight.
But no. It's just it's just America. All about America. America. This. Woo, we're great. We're going to be the ones to solve this. Yeah. Amazing. Oh, what's that? One of our pilots is going to fly one of our planes, but we've never fucking seen this thing. He's never seen it before, but he's going to jump in and fucking fly it. Point. Fucking no problem. Wicked.
Well,
they could.
now, to be fair, he does go backwards at first.
Let him off.
Oh, we'll let them off because they put the instructions upside down.
Exactly.
But they could have included these other countries a lot more, incorporated them, and had a massive worldwide resurgence
all over
against
the
it.
world.
But
The film would have been better if it just had one giant ship. Not loads of ships dotted around the world, just one giant ship, and then they had to come together as a planet to destroy the ship. Not just America are going to do it all.
I see where you're coming from. I disagree purely from a logistical perspective, or both logistical and kind of plot, is that I think the reason you can't do that effectively, having like perspectives from across the globe that are more than just tokenistic, right? Like we kind of get in the film where it's a tokenistic.
Well, they could have still been tokenistic, but at least show that you're including them.
But that is
Not just-
that is tokenistic to have it like. Otherwise, I feel like you're spreading the plot far too thinly.
Yeah.
Where you're trying, and here's what's going on with like in Britain. Here's what's going on in China. You're not going to be able to cover enough key.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Don't have all these little
Also,
ships. Have one big ship, and then you could have had this massive Air Force plane. Oh, there's some American planes, some British fighters, some German fighters, Japanese fighters.
Who's your main characters then?
Well, you can still have Will Smith as your main character.
Right, so
you can still have your repulsive Will Smith main character, who's horrendous. But you're including the world, not
feel
just
like-
leave it to America.
So you want exactly the same film, but with
More
one
cameos
ship,
of other.
one perfectly round ship.
Where's the
Well,
ship?
that's-
Is the ship over America?
Well, the ship can be wherever it fucking wants. It's over the world. It's big. I'm talking a massive ship that encompasses the world.
So what? So now they have to have spaceships.
It would have to be a sphere to cover the whole world.
No, it's just a big ship.
But it's not going to cover the world.
Big enough to. I mean, it's a sci-fi film. Nick, use your imagination. If you want it to cover the fucking world, then cover the fucking
That's
world.
what I'm saying. It would have to be a sphere. And you were like, don't have to be a sphere.
Well, it doesn't have to be a sphere.
Crazy.
Of course, it doesn't have to be a
Cover
sphere.
the world, but don't make it a sphere.
It could be. I think just your generic flat ship, like these were. Like these were.
Because the Earth's not flat.
I know that.
Well, hang on. Right, hang on. So I think what Jim means by cover it is thinking like it casts a shadow down. I think that in his
Onto
mind.
one side of the Earth.
Yeah.
Because of the laws of physics.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking. So, right, first of all, I don't think you can have a go at this film
I can.
for being American.
Of course I can.
When it's made in America by Americans called July the 4th.
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting. That's like saying, like,
I could still have a go at them for
can't
not.
believe Gladiator was all about the fucking Italians. Like, it just happens to
I
be
could
set
still
in
have a go at this
America.
film for just being so gratuitous towards it.
But, like, the fact...
Because there was no need for it. Because there's no need for it to be called Independence Day beyond the fact that it's set on July 4th.
But there's no need for anything. You might as well call it Independence Day. There's more reason to call it Independence Day and have it happen on Independence Day and have them have a speech where they're like, tomorrow we're celebrating our Independence Day, but today it's about the world being independent from these. That is a more cohesive plot than most films that are just randomly, like, why call it Baby Driver? Because he's a driver and his nickname's Baby. Like, all films are just random shit that happens to make something happen.
It's a plot mechanism.
It's a plot mechanism. The fact of the matter is, the fact that there were ships at different points all around the Earth meant that all the fighter pilots couldn't come together because they were fighting their own battles, and we just happened to be following the Americans. And when you see the other ones be like, oh, what are the Americans doing? Like, because they've got the biggest air force, and they do. So that makes sense that the other people are like, oh, okay, we'll wait and see how their strategy goes, because they can afford to throw more aeroplanes at this thing, lose them, and still be an effective fighting force, whereas other nations might have to be like, we need to wait and see.
But that's nonsense, because the British could also have a massive air force.
But not
the
as big as-
Japanese have got a massive air force.
But not as big as the Americans.
It's about,
By
but they're all combined.
a lot.
They're all fucking combined. You get into one, you see one little cutaway, and you've got British, Iraqis, and Germans in one fucking place.
Yeah. Because
So are you telling me that those three things combined are not a massive air force? Of course they are.
But by that point,
So
they're
why-
just survivors.
Why is it all got to be America going, oh yeah, fucking wank on this one, yeah, we're going to destroy this? why at no point in this film could we not have had Jeff Goldblum going, oh, I've just received word from the British, try this?
But why not? Why
Because
not?
it doesn't have to be America going, look at us, hoorah, look at
Does,
does
that's what
the
they
90s.
do. That's what they do. But I think we've got to maybe the crux of part of something that you really can't get on board with and dislike. And I'm not saying that I particularly.
I also
love
think
it
it's
by any
I also
means.
think it's an awful film. Beyond all of that, I think it's awful.
But is this part of the reason that you got so upset with Starship Troopers? Because it had a very similar kind of jingoistic kind of.
No, I didn't get upset with
Hoorah.
Starship Troopers.
Got it, hoorah.
No, my upset with Starship Troopers was that the fucking director failed to do his job.
Oh my god. Okay.
That was my upset with Starship Troopers. Because, and then he still comes out claiming, oh, look at this masterpiece I made. When he could have just been humble and gone like the director of Psycho. Oh no, I'm going to sniff my own farts on this one. This is a masterpiece, and if you don't get it, that's all on you.
It's not. Anyway, we totally
Yeah,
digressing. Let's
We
get
have
back
absolutely digressed
to
on this
your vehement
do you know what?
anger at this film.
Can I just say at some point at this point, I just want to say, I thought this was going to be one of these boring episodes where the three of us
We all
just
disagree,
agreed
like, it was alright, yeah.
that is a fun action romp 90s
You can
film.
never assume.
Can never assume.
With
Can
the
never assume.
gentleman sat
I,
opposite us.
yeah, because I was like,
I was
"Do
going
you
to
know
say it is a fun action romp, but it's awful.
What's awful about it?
Everything about it is awful. the amount of plot holes that are in it, it just takes you out this film beyond just woohoo.
It's very 90s, right? So remember, like another example, like the amount of plot holes in, say, Jurassic Park, like all the plot holes around, like what dinosaurs bringing them back, what like they've reproduced, etc., all that kind of stuff. But like we keep going back to say, plot holes are okay when everything else you're being presented with in that film is enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole suspension of disbelief, when you can be like, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then it's okay. But I think what you're saying is you didn't get enough from everything else happening, and a lot of other stuff happening was pissing you off.
It was just nonsense.
What I just love is
It was just nothing. It was obviously not a fun romp, but it was just not enjoyable to watch.
in your film, we would have followed these characters,
Yeah.
and then at some point in the film, they would have been like, "Oh fuck, India's just destroyed one. I wonder how India did that. India, can you give us a call? Oh, cool, okay. Oh, great, okay, well we'll do that then. End of film."
Or it'd be
They don't necessarily have to- no, it doesn't have to be
subplots of all
doesn't necessarily have to be destroyed one. It could have just been, oh, we've actually found a way of getting through their shields.
So you want to
Doesn't have to be. We have actively destroyed one.
You want
because-
a little bit more international cooperation.
Well, yeah. I mean, the fact that they've shown they can quite easily communicate very quickly.
But I mean, we've got other
I mean,
films
they
that
sat
do
there and went,
that.
oh, here we go, Morse code, and they're instantly receiving it halfway across the other side of the world. So they can definitely communicate very, very quickly.
Okay. But what about something like a film like, I don't know, Armageddon, where there is a international situation going on,
It still feels very American,
but
right?
the film is focused on a series of events from an American perspective. would you be angry about something like that? Because it's like, well, what? Yeah, but surely, like,
Well, no, because that is different because it's up in space, and the purpose of that, and the purpose of that. No, hang on. And the purpose of that is there to destroy a massive asteroid / meteor that is going to blow the world
But
up.
why does it have to be the Americans that do it?
Spain, Russia, or Georgia. What about their efforts to
I'm
send
sure
up
they
a
could have done,
rocket?
but if they
What about their ragtag group of
Astronauts.
miners?
Miners, yeah.
look, I haven't watched Armageddon for a very long time, so I could be very annoyed. I could
I
get
just-
very
I-
angry at Armageddon.
I love the fact.
I could get very angry at Armageddon.
I think you
but
might, yeah.
I don't think. But from memory, I don't think Armageddon is such a gratuitous hoorah.
It is.
2.5 hours of hoorah to the Americans with their knobs out, jacking it off.
Should we briefly go over the synopsis?
I think we
Oh
should.
yeah, what happens to the film?
So, Independence Day, also promoted as ID4, fucking ridiculous, is a 1996 American.
Wait, ID4?
I've never.
Apparently so.
That can't be it because it's not
I
the
am reading
fourth
it.
film.
I am repeat. Well, Independence Day on the 4th.
Yeah, but that's
I am just
no one
reading
calls
what's
it Independence Day 4. It's
I
like
am
4th of
just
July.
reading what is in front of me on the screen.
My God, that's the worst thing I've heard.
Is a 1996 American science fiction action film directed by Roland Emmerich, written
Great director.
by Emmerich and Dean Devlin, and stars a ensemble cast that consists of the likes of Will Smith, Bill Pullman, Jeff Goldblum, Mary McDonald even, and many others. The
Randy
film,
Quaid.
focuses. I mean, yeah, he's several down the list. I won't get that far, mate.
Fucking hell.
The film focuses on desperate groups of people, only the Americans apparently, who converge in the Nevada desert, definitely don't because it's just the Americans, hoorah, in the aftermath of a worldwide attack by a powerful extraterrestrial race with the other people of the world. They launch a counterattack on July 4th, Independence Day in the United States. Hoorah.
So upset about this
I
film.
don't understand.
This film should have included more of the world.
Why?
But it's
It wasn't called War of the Worlds.
To get over the fact that it is a worldwide attack.
But like, there are other films that like just focus on like the English people, like 28 Days Later. That's just in England.
Yeah. Why does that incorporate the rest of the world struggle with the outbreak of the virus? What about Attack the Block? Isn't that about like
Yeah.
weird aliens in a town? What about all the other tower blocks around the world?
Yeah, like
What about
it
their
just
struggles?
like, and there are other films that
Well, my
incorporate the whole
memory,
world.
28 Days Later hasn't spread beyond the UK at that point.
Right, 28 weeks later. Why do we only focus on England?
Yeah, why not?
Exactly. Why not?
Because that's where they've chosen to set the film. It just so
to be
happens
set
to be.
Which is fine. I'm not saying you have to set it around the world. I have said
Which would be a circle
incorporate
ship,
more
just-
of the other nations.
Yeah.
Not just have it a 2.5 hour wank fest for America.
So you
just
did-
because it's set on July 4th when it didn't need to be set on July 4th.
So you did want some subplots
Yes.
that involve like here's
I
like
have.
a
I think
subplot
I have
going
made.
on
I think
in
I have made that.
Russia
I think I have
or
made that
whatever.
abundantly clear. I wanted some more incorporation of the world.
How many subplots? Which one?
It doesn't even need to be subplots. It
7.
could just be more incorporation of it. Just.
Give us an example. 'cause at the
I have
moment-
given examples. Yes, I have.
You've just
I
said
have
other
given
countries.
examples of the, like, you know, you've said yourself. How about, you know, India destroying things? Doesn't have to be India destroying one. It could just be them giving information, say, try this because we've tried to, and we think it can get through their shields. Or Russia being like, oh, we've done a scan of this ship. We think there's a weak point there. Maybe give that a go.
I can tell you right now, America
You know,
will
it
not
did-
be included in
You know,
parts from Russia.
Or,
we have
or,
scammed the ship. No, fuck off.
Kenny, sorry, he's breaking
or,
it up.
or the British could be like, oh, we've actually found a piece of their tech and we've been working on it, and we actually think if you upload a virus on it, it might do this. Not have Jeff Goldblum so pissed up out of his face, suddenly go having his dad go, oh yeah, God, freezes and cold. Oh, a virus? I mean, fucking come on.
Bear in mind, it was 1996, right? This was the time of fucking, may as well have been wind-up modems at that point.
Like I've already pointed out, they were able to communicate instantaneously with Morse code in
Yeah,
this film.
but also I think
So they would have had absolutely 100% the capability to have transmitted information between them.
So can I just one in defense? Like, I do get what you're saying about it. It doesn't feel like a worldwide threat necessarily, but I think like in a film where it's like, say, The Core or Armageddon or Deep Impact or something, they know about these threats for a long time and have time to get these like international groups together.
Right,
In this, it fucking happens. All the countries are hit at once. And so the countries are kind of like, fuck. Like, we're trying to fight them off for ourselves. There's not really the time for them to get together and kind of...
Well, there is. There absolutely is. There were moments in this film where they are just doing nothing. Because they are waiting for this countdown. They are waiting for this alien ship to do whatever it's doing. There's like a 7 day countdown or some shit in this film.
Yeah, but
and there's a lot of downtime where they're all, like I said, at one point you've got the British, the Iraqis, the Germans, and I think the Japanese or Chinese, just in a desert, just waiting on communications from the Americans.
Yeah, but
they're not doing anything.
They do say that they're
there is
decimated.
downtime in this film for them to communicate.
At least right, there are those scenes showing like other international efforts.
Yeah, barely.
So what, again then?
But they're not showing their efforts. They literally just flash into 3 poncy Brits going, oh, the American. That is literally their accent. I mean, they may as well have been fucking Prince William cloned 3 times.
It was all like fucking Cockney nut jobs.
I'd have rather it been
mate.
I'd have rather it been a genuine representation of the British public, not just 3 poncy Tories going,
To be fair, I do think that is a good representation of the upper class of the military.
The RAF.
Yeah, especially the RAF.
I bet the majority of them now are not like that.
I bet they are, considering the royals.
Yeah, the royals, maybe, but I bet everyone else isn't like, yes. The
think
Americans have sent word of it.
I think it probably is.
Not buying it.
Really,
Awful.
I'm pretty sure you're not going to get a general that's like, fucking hell, mate, come on, guys, we've got to get our fucking troops going.
I bet you would.
I bet you don't.
I bet you fucking do.
Yeah, right, whatever.
I bet you I will find an RAF general that is very down to earth.
I bet they don't, because I've heard them come on the radio when they've talked about stuff, and it's like Brigadier Lieutenant.
That's their radio voice. Everyone's gonna have a radio and a phone. Everyone's gonna have a radio
The
voice.
idea that like the radio stops is like, oh, is that all right?
I've heard my wife be 2 very different people in quick succession. She'll take a phone call from her work, and her phone voice kicks in, and I'm like, who the fuck are you? You're not my wife.
It's James's wife.
You're not my wife. I don't know what this voice is, but you are not my wife.
Bye, James, get me a fucking fake.
I love that. In James's head, like all these fucking generals are like scousers.
You know what I mean?
Fucking what? We're gonna wage war, mate. You fucking have it, you fucking aliens.
Why would they not? Why would they not be? They've got to give off like some kind of image to people. So yeah, why would they not sound a bit more proper on the radio? They might turn. They might just say, "Hang on." I feel like, and go, "Oi, you lot, back in line."
I feel like this show is derailed.
Right.
But British soldiers in virtually every film are like, "Hello,"
which is awful. Which is an awful stereotype of it's. Well, in fact, it's an American stereotype. They seem to think we're all fucking Tories. But you know,
the Americans have kind of stereotyped themselves in this thing as well. Like, you've got like the redneck ex kind of drunken pilot guy.
Of course, that's because that's the stereotype. That's because that's the stereotype the rest of the world see the Americans have. So they play up to it in films to accommodate the rest of the world. I'm not saying any of these. I haven't said any of these stereotypes are fine. I don't agree with stereotyping. I think it's awful. No one should ever be stereotyped into any kind of pigeonhole. Okay. I think that's absolutely abhorrent and awful that people do get stereotyped.
What about positive stereotypes?
But some of the films that you said you were a massive fan of, really enjoyed.
Yes.
You mean like Rebel Moon with the Asian ones good with swords and kung fu and stuff?
There's so many sci-fi.
Fantastic film. Yes.
Right. We're digressing. I think we should talk about
the Native American looking one has
let's talk about this film. Let's go.
So what I'd like to do? I'd like to just talk through briefly some of the characters and who they're played by.
Yes.
And Jim, if you wouldn't mind, for each one, I'd like you to give a 1 word or a couple of words review on that performance. Does that work?
Agree.
All right.
Okay.
I think I've already covered Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum. But
let's go again. So yeah, Will Smith is Captain Stephen Hillier, and he's like he's the hotshot F-18 pilot with Black Knight Squadron.
Pew 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 pew.
And arguably he's like the main, if not one of the main protagonists and heroes.
Wait, is this squadron called Black Knight?
Yeah. All right.
Little on the nose.
Jim.
Repulsive.
Okay.
Right, hang on. I don't want to get too much into it. Why repulsive?
His performance is just repulsive.
Is it not just peak Will Smith?
Yeah. No, I don't think it is.
His career?
No. I
For
don't
me,
think
it's like-
it's Will Smith in Men in Black, but shit.
It is Will Smith in Men in Black.
Yeah.
But shit.
What didn't you like about it?
It's just awful.
What? No,
There's just no charm about him.
But what about-
There's no Will
what
Smith
about when he
charm.
punches the alien and says,
he
"What
wasn't.
on earth?"
He wasn't fun. It was.
What do you? So were you a little bit too kind of cocky.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What
I
about
don't
when he
know.
marries the stripper?
I mean, each their own.
Didn't realise she was a stripper until I was older. When I was a kid. Just
Oh,
like...
did you not?
I mean,
the dancer.
each their own. I'm not going to judge who you want to marry.
Still just a dancer.
Just a
man.
dancer.
They're still dancers.
Just, well, yeah.
Come on.
You were
Not fucking
entitled to marry who you want to marry. Just because she's a stripper, I'm not going to hold it against you.
Right. Well, we've digressed again.
Next.
So Bill Pullman plays President Thomas J. Whitmore, a former pilot and Gulf War veteran who has that amazing uplifting speech.
Yeah, amazing. Which completely justifies why the film is called Independence Day.
You could
Not
argue
even,
so.
not even, no.
Could argue.
He's awful.
Didn't work for you? Okay.
He's awful.
Bill
Moving on.
Pullman's a great actor.
Yeah. He's not in like I can't recall an awful lot of stuff other than that performance that I can.
I can't think of what's on my head.
There'll be
but,
loads of stuff.
I
like,
remember
of
him.
course,
Yeah.
of course. Okay, the always wonderful Jeff Goldblum as David Evanson, an MIT-educated satellite engineer and technological expert.
David.
David.
There are two people in this film that say David a lot, and they're both like David. Why? Like what? Like everyone around him, like chronic smoker. David, get to the bunker, David. David, you're my boy, David. I've got into like fucking League of Gentlemen. You're my wife now, David. What do you
We're
think?
digressing again.
Yeah, what do you
So Jeff Goldblum, really disappointing.
Not classic Jeff Goldblum.
Even when he triangulates a phone call, phones up the woman and says, and then he goes like, how'd you get this number?
Bit creepy that.
And minutes earlier he said she has her number listed for emergencies, and she's like forgotten this. Like, how'd you get his number?
Just a bit creepy that. Bit creepy.
I mean, it is his ex-wife.
yeah, but still, but she divorced 3 years ago.
I feel like
I was just disappointed. I just didn't like the character.
It's so different from Ian Malcolm.
I didn't like the character. I didn't like the character, and just the fact that like I said at the end,
he's not as cocky.
He's not as cocky. He's not suave. He's like
he's
it's
a
different
nerd.
ends of the nerd
He's
spectrum.
like the absolute peak
he's
nerd.
still
But
peak Goldblum though.
Yeah,
I was just disappointed in it. I just didn't like the character.
I liked it, and I think he's that perfect kind of antithesis for the really macho Smith character. Not so much that it was like, imagine if it was like, it's like the guy that plays Gareth from the UK Office.
Yeah.
Like Gareth.
Yeah.
His name.
Yeah.
Not to that extent, but like, just the two personalities, I think is a nice contrast there.
The one thing I will say, because I really like this film, I think it's brilliant. I got like, there's nothing to really hate about it because it's just fun. But there's not really character arcs. No one changes.
No.
Right,
Well,
I guess Jeff Goldblum gets a bit more confident.
and Randy Quaid kind of has that.
Well,
Dies.
Jeff Goldblum gets a light bulb moment while he's pissed.
Well, yeah, but I mean that happens, you know.
Yeah.
Light bulb.
It is amazing how they've had that the spaceship that they used to fly up, with the Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith's characters used to fly up into the mothership and detonate the nuke or whatever when they can lower the defences
Yeah.
and stuff. Is like the one that crash landed in Roswell
Like 50 years ago,
50 years ago. They've had it all this time, and that one is the one they use, and like it's not to like the aliens are like, yeah, come on. Waving it in, right? Come on through.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if, like, I don't know, someone was trying to break into somewhere else and they used a 60-year-old car to go into, like, drive into an army base? And everyone's like, that looks like one of ours.
Or just a fighter pilot whose plane went missing years, and suddenly it's back on the radar. I think you would think, hang on.
one of the good
I
guys.
mean, it's like there are plot holes, but I mean, like this is the thing, like. Oh, like why didn't they spot the ship? But it's kind of cool that they have that ship from 50 years ago and that it like powered up because the mothership's there. Like, I get that. Like, how did like they interface like a computer system with an alien computer system and give it a virus that worked? But we know that computer viruses are a thing, so it kind of works.
And
Right?
then back at that time, everyone was like, computers are smart.
Yeah, computers are smart.
That's all you got to say.
Unless you got a cold, unless you got a virus, then fucking computer done.
Exactly.
Do
That's
that.
what we need today. Right, a few more cast members. You've got Mary McDonnell as First Lady Marilyn Whitmore.
Her dying's actually tragic.
Yeah, that was a sad scene.
Yeah.
We're allowed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, she wasn't really in the film.
But the little girl, where's mummy?
Yeah, that was an emotional scene. I'll give it that. But
you've got Judd Hirsch, who is plays David's father. I think he's a great character. No, David.
David.
I think he's great, and you've got that whole arc about him, David sort of re-embracing his Jewish heritage and everything. I think that's quite a bit of character going on there. Who else want to go? I think I think the main other one to say is Randy Quaid as Russell Case.
Yeah.
Who's got that redemption arc where he's like an ex-XXX pilot who's now an alcoholic crop duster.
And he's like considered like a joke because he's been saying that he was abducted by aliens.
Yes.
And like no one believes him.
And probably did and everything.
Yeah, and then they come back and he's like, see, I told you they were aliens.
I told you guys.
And then he ends up saving the day by like sacrificing himself and the plane. Because basically, I don't think we've really told the plot enough. Aliens.
We haven't spoken about the plot at all.
No.
We don't need to.
Aliens come to Earth. We can't destroy them because they've got this shielding. So they have to come up with a way to get this shielding. So they put a virus up in the mothership, which then destroys the shields. Then all the planes from all around the world attack at once. And then
coordinated effort, you might say.
Yeah, but then they run out of missiles because they're just shooting at like the shippy bits.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, look at his giblies underneath. They're glowing blue. Let's shoot some missiles up there. But they run out of missiles. But then Randy Quaid, he's got one missile left, but it jams. Oh, it's his age. It can't get up like he used to.
One thing you have to do.
He sacrifices himself, and as he's like, "Hello, boys, I'm back." It's brilliant.
And his kids are like, you've got
his
that
kids
emotion
there,
of they're like, he was a hero.
Yeah, you should be proud, and they're like, we are.
It's one kid. The other two are nowhere to be seen.
Well, you know.
Yes.
The eldest is the only one in that room.
Well,
the others are nowhere to be seen.
They probably don't want the other kids like hearing their dad die.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the eldest wanted to either, to be honest.
Yeah, he's got to hear it.
Yeah, one of them's off
Sleeping
in a car. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of them's busy.
Yeah, maybe taking a leak.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think we need this.
That's not the main thing. Then there's like the one that Hiller married, the Will Smith character marries.
Yes.
Who's got a little kid. That kid is so fucking cute.
Oh man.
That kid's cute.
Yeah.
And then there's also the one.
So Stephen Hilliard's partner and then wife is played by, I can't pronounce this right, Vivica A. Fox.
Vivica A.
Jasmine
Fox.
Brown.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And then there's also David's kind of love interest. Who's
Yes.
like presidential aide.
Who is Margaret Collin as Constance Spano.
Constance Spanner. That's the name they
That's
went
the
with.
constant spanner.
Spano?
I don't know.
S-P-A-N-O?
Let's go with Constance Spanner.
Are you sure you've just read up the correct character?
So the nerdy one
That's the name of the
is married to
character.
Constance Spanner. My David!
I think the other character is well worth a mention is nerdy scientist guy who is the actor that played Data, right? In Star Trek.
Oh, what's his name?
It
Spades?
is
No.
Brent Spinner.
Yeah, Brett Spinner.
And the character's name is Dr. Brackish Oaken.
Yeah,
How
Oaken.
cool is that?
Dr. Oaken.
And yeah, he gets like, as they're dissecting the alien, that's another great scene. I remember being like grossed out as a kid, like all the goo and the gunge and they like cutting through the exoskeleton and then suddenly
The first of the three
so
bird
like,
roast.
Yeah, so cool.
It's good.
Yeah, and then he's got the tentacles around his neck. Speaking for him.
That's good. That's a good scene.
I'm not saying there's not good scenes in this film. I've not said there's not good scenes in this film.
Just hates everything.
I just think it's an awful film. I think as a whole, it's just not a good film. There are moments, but as a whole package, not enjoyable.
Well,
Or not good, not enjoyable, not good.
quite a lot of the world at the time seemed to disagree. So
I'm sure they do. I'm not suggesting I am the voice of the many. I'm not suggesting I am the voice of the many in this. This is purely my subjective opinion.
I really hope you never become the voice of the many.
I do
Because
I
the
do
moment-
because
the
the
moment
world
you
will
are
be
the voice-
the world will be a better place.
It wouldn't. It would.
It would.
It would be on fire.
It would be a happy place.
It would. Fuck off.
This
If the
world
world
would
was
be-
full of you.
It would be a
Jesus.
better place with me in charge.
Oh my god. I think people would holiday in hell.
People would rather I be running this country than fucking Keir Starmer or fucking Tory bollocks at the moment.
Other political
Other bloke
parties
whose
are
name are
available.
fucking Dishy Rishi. They would rather me being sitting in number 10 than one of them two cunts.
Can you imagine
Jesus Christ.
this sweaty wildebeest?
I'm only sweaty because of how fucking hot it is in here right now.
Do you know what I want to hear right now?
Jesus.
I don't
Yeah.
know if we come to it too early, but I'm desperate to hear Jim's
Out of 10. Out of 5. Out of 5.
star
Yeah.
rating of this
Yeah.
film.
Right,
You wanna do
guys.
that?
Ready?
You wanna
We'll
do
come back.
Sure.
We'll come back. Star ratings. Wow.
We've given our opinions on this film. Now we're going to give a little rating out of 5.
And I'd love to hear what people think about this film actually as well, like whether then...
Yeah, absolutely. Get in touch with
Yeah,
us.
please give
Let us
us
know
your
what
star.
you think. Tell me on social, because it's me that you'll be interacting with, what you think of this film and your star rating even. I might even put a little poll up with 1 to 5 stars. I don't
That
know.
would make sense.
And
That
just
would make
warning,
sense.
He will reply to you, and if you get into an email debate with him, just a warning now, this is one
Just
of
go
the
to the
most
police.
stubborn human beings in the entire...
Just,
Doesn't
yeah.
have to be so yeah. Contact us on X at CastorOldPod, or if you want, you can email castorOldPod@gmail.com. I will pick up both of them.
We'll also be posting Jim's home address
Definitely won't be.
in the comments if you want to pay a
Well,
visit.
I mean, if he's running for political office,
Fuck.
it needs to be in public record.
Base of operations, though.
Jesus Christ. Would you be an independent? You'd be an independent, right?
What would be your strapline?
My strapline.
Yeah.
Jim, never fart in a confined space.
I was gonna say, yeah. You too can fight where you want.
The common man.
For a happy life, vote Jim.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No substance to that claim
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
The man, the
Pigs
manifesto.
pigs in shit are happy.
Just the manifesto would just consist of 3 words.
The manifesto is just some kind of maniac's.
I feel like
final
he's
letter.
seconds away of like following the Farage line of like, well, I'm just saying what I think. I'm just saying what everyone thinks.
My manifesto would just be 3 words, and it would just be, give me time.
He'll have got it wrong, and he'll think it'll be like my man in pesto, and it'll be a picture of him in like the pesto sauce just rolling around.
Up in a bath of pesto.
Yeah. This is my man of pesto.
Right. Independence. Let's come to you first, Sam.
Right.
Give us your star rating for this.
Out of 5 stars.
Got to be out of 5.
Out of 5 stars.
Got it.
Right. Because I do give 5 to films, because having a star rating and saying I'm never giving 5 is
mental.
fucking annoying.
That's a 4-star rating.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It is. It
No,
is.
it's not.
The
It is
fact-
no, right. No, it's not my fault you don't understand this. It is a 5-star rating, but I automatically would take a bare minimum of half a point off. So it will always. So the absolute max will be 4.5 out of 5.
But if the max is 4.5, then it's 100%. Your 100%
No,
is
it's
4.5.
95. It's 95%. Because there's no such thing as 100%. 4.5. 4.5 is 95.
No, it's not.
It will be a 4
Would
Right.
you rate a film 99%?
if it deserved it.
Never are.
If it deserved 99%.
Right, fine. Well, I do give 5 stars because I'm not a psycho.
And what are you
No,
giving it?
people-
I'm giving this 4.
People
giving
out
it
there,
4.
people out there understand what I'm on about.
No,
Yes,
no
they do.
one in the world.
They understand what I'm saying, and they're thinking, Sam, why do you not understand it?
Have
And they're
you got
agreeing, and
any
they're
evidence
also
of this?
agreeing with me as well.
Really? Any evidence?
They will do. There will be evidence.
All right, okay. I love you, but you're mental.
I will get the people
Right.
will respond and go, Jim, you're right.
I'm
This
giving
is
this
saying
4
is perfect."
stars, right?
Okay.
There is nothing to not like about it.
Loads not.
There
like.
are plot holes, but it's a 90s action film. It's nice. For me, it is that kind of era of like, those 90s films. You don't, it's not getting political about stuff. It's not trying to teach you anything. It's not trying to like make you a better person for watching this film. It's just fun popcorn film. There is nothing wrong with it. It's got good performances from everyone. I think people seem to forget that like aliens coming to Earth is a mental concept. Like trying to get that across in a believable way. And some people in this film are like delivering lines that are really silly in a way that you're like, yeah, I can see that is how they would react in this situation. You get to see cool things blow up. You get to see cool designs of ships, cool designs of aliens. What's not to like? 4 stars.
I'm kind of along similar lines, really. I think, and I'm kind of basing this on what I would call my reactions and enjoyment of the film to be like 25 odd, or however long, many years ago. Back in the day.
God, it's nearly 30.
28 years old.
28 years.
Fucking hell, yeah. But I imagine by the time we got it on like video cassette and stuff, it would have been a bit later on. But yeah, like it was a lot of fun. Like it's spectacle. I don't think both the level of effects, the sort of scope of like destruction and scope of like the spaceships and all that kind of thing was certainly nothing that I had ever seen before. And I think in cinema, like what they were able to achieve, things like that hadn't really been seen before. And I think there's loads of kind of alien invasion films and stuff. I remember one of the things I read about the writers, and it's written by Roland Emmerich and someone called Dean Devlin. What they wanted to do was to show this idea of like this massive scope of what it could look and feel like for a massive scale, international, planetary-wide alien invasion, as opposed to a lot of stuff that maybe had been portrayed previously, where it was like, aliens come to Earth, but like they're hidden in the trees in the field outside your house, or like aliens come to Earth, but like it's their spores and they got into people's blood.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? It's totally different.
Or like I really love like Close Encounters.
Yeah.
But I remember watching that and thinking like, this is really cool, but it's not a film about aliens. It's a film about humans dealing with the idea of aliens.
Yeah.
I want to see some fucking aliens,
right?
You know?
Or it was like like the one small size ship that had come to Earth, like, and on a much smaller scale. So I think from that idea, I'm not saying the performances are great. They were fun at the time. My kind of teenage brain did absolutely what it needed to.
Yep.
There's still lines that I remember today. I think I could go 4 stars.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.5 if I had to be really critical. But I think if I rewatched it now, yeah, maybe that could be interesting. I think, but I don't think I'd change my mind enough to be where you're possibly at, Jim, which is
1.5.
Jesus Christ! How is this lower? Like
How?
serious?
Because this is truly awful.
what did you give Rebel Moon?
3.
3.5.
3.
No, it's 3.5. I think.
3 and 3.5 I gave them.
Okay. Whereas this gets 1.5.
1.5.
Wow.
1.5.
Do you
And
not feel-
that is purely for a couple of good little scenes and some memorable moments.
Do you not feel the characters were a bit more relatable than
No.
the absolutely paper thin, one-dimensional
No.
tropes? in
No, I
Rebel
don't,
Moon?
because I think you're giving a lot of discredit to the characters of Rebel Moon. Like I said,
I think we're giving them way more
I
credit
still,
by
I
still talking
do.
about it.
No, I do
They're
not.
like human beings.
I do
Work.
not think you ever watched Rebel Moon with the intention of actually critiquing it genuinely.
I did.
I think you watched Rebel Moon and then went, "Oh, I got a zinger about this scene,"
No,
and that was it. I don't think you
genuinely,
genuinely
the
watched these
first
films
time-
with the intention of critiquing them properly.
The first time I watched
Anyway,
Rebel
we're not
Moon-
on about Rebel
Oh,
Moon,
it's-
so we're not discussing Rebel Moon.
Oh, no one else allowed to. James allowed to.
No, you asked me a question. I've answered it. We're not then.
1.5.
We are not then diverging onto a fucking onslaught about Rebel Moon because we're not chatting about Rebel Moon.
I think that's what our fans want.
But the film, it's just fun at places, mostly shit.
Wow.
If it wasn't for Action Dog, fucking Crypto the Wonder Dog, it would probably be a 0.5 star.
Doggy was a good boy.
He doesn't do. What does he do? He only runs away from the fire once.
Yes,
doesn't
Yeah, that's it.
That's
more than most of the characters do.
he? The fire.
Genuinely
that
more
refused to go around
genuinely
corners.
more impactful than most of the characters in that film.
Do you know what I'm starting to realise though? Maybe I'm wrong, because we've watched other films where there is a lot of dialogue-driven character development, and you've really enjoyed it. But sometimes I feel like you could watch like an interesting piece of interaction between two characters, dialogue-based. There's emotion stuff there, and then you could watch, say, a cool slow motion looking into the distance, and you would choose the latter scenes to be like, oh, that's real cool character development there. Look at how brooding they are. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that seems to feel like where your tendencies lie in terms of that, like what is an effective piece of character building. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think you're very wrong.
Helps.
I think you're very wrong because those films you've mentioned I have rated higher than the slow-mo heavy Rebel Moon. Apart from Gladiator, which is absolutely...
Did we ever give... I don't think we started doing our star ratings for like
We didn't. It's one of those things we've only recently started doing since Scargiver.
Because what did
We're
we...
not recasting. We're not making a casserole of this, are we?
Anyway,
We're, like,
well,
reviewing.
that leads me. Let's actually go into our casserole section of the podcast. And this week, like Nick has just alluded to, we are not doing a recasting of the film because it's actually Nick himself who came up with a fun little idea that we give some quick pitches of films that we would like. Well, not that we would like to say, just pitches of films that take place on other celebrated days.
Yes.
Am I right? Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's not
I haven't
Independence
worded that wrong.
Well, I mean, it was clunky as shit. But we
That's the point there.
Yeah.
Pitches of other celebration, national holidays.
We pitch what
yeah.
shit could go down on other celebratory days.
Yeah.
Uni days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not just like
Your birthday. Yeah.
Like well-known national, international days.
Are we going to spin a wheel for who's going to go first?
Yeah, let's spin a wheel.
All right. Well, let me hang on 2 seconds then.
No, just so you know, we could just go and pick. But Jim's going to actually spin a wheel.
Well, I feel like it makes it more fair. Me.
Oh!
I mean, I felt like I should have handed it to the actual microphone.
Nah, it's alright.
I think it would have come.
I can find that.
Okay, so it's me. So my pitch.
Okay. Give us the title first.
Okay.
Oh, he's happy with this. He's happy with this.
I'm not really, but so it's Harold and Kumar get more munchies.
It's Harold and Kumar.
Harold and Kumar get more munchies.
Right. What day is this set on?
St. Patrick's Day.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So-
Is this a film that already exists?
It might do. The title can change.
A sequel.
Yeah.
Another sequel to the Harold and Kumar.
Yeah. So Carl Penn and what's his name are back. Hang on. Let me get
And
it.
those films are centered around like wacky adventures when they're really
Yeah.
stoned, right?
So John Cho and Carl Penn, they will return.
Okay.
They as the titular characters of Harold and Kumar.
Right.
Takes place in Ireland,
Okay.
and they have more munchies
Right.
because so they've got Sternborough, and they're set out for I don't know something in Ireland. Whatever they've heard is a great bit of grub.
You haven't researched Ireland food at all, have you?
I mean, I have in the top one was soda bread, but that sounds fucking boring. I'm not gonna lie to you. Harold and Kumar get the munchies and go for some soda bread.
Soda bread and a pint
Wicked.
of Guinness.
You know what I mean? So they could have. So yeah, it could be fucking. It was either that or fucking boiled ham and cabbage or like.
So the purpose of the film is they've heard good things about the food. They've got
They've got the munchies. There is a holy grail of food that they have heard about, and that is that they're venturing to get it. On that way, Neil Patrick Harris will return as whatever character he was in Harold and Kumar. I can't remember what he did. I think he just stole their car and then gave their keys back at the end. He'll return, but this time he's accompanied by Peter Dinklage, who is dressed as a leprechaun.
Oh
this might get a bit problematic.
Might.
But we will learn.
Is there Munchies Lucky Charms? Yes.
Fuck it. Right, we will learn why Peter Dinklage is dressed like a leprechaun, don't worry.
Jesus.
We learn that that Peter Dinklage lost a bet. And the bet was if he lost that bet, he had to dress like a leprechaun to go to this party. Neil Patrick Harris, in his pissed up stone state that he's in, kidnaps Peter Dinklage. And in doing so, when meeting Harold and Kumar, ditches Peter Dinklage with them. It turns out that Peter Dinklage is actually a member of a mob, an Irish mob. And they're like, hang on,
The IRA or something.
could be. I don't know, it might be could be a gang.
It's gone dark.
Could be the IRA, could be a local gang. Doesn't matter.
This isn't set in the 80s, is it? Jesus.
Either way,
During the trial.
they believe that Harold and Kumar are the ones who kidnapped Peter Dinklage, aka Leprechaun guy.
Oh, Harold and Kumar.
And so
Have you watched any of these films?
No.
no, they're awful. I've watched the first one, they're awful. But anyway, so yes, they're travelling from, I don't know, somewhere in Ireland to the other side of Ireland. I don't know place names. Just
I feel like this could be a genuine pitch for Harold and Kumar. Don't know place
West
names.
Cork.
Somewhere in Ireland.
somewhere, yeah. And in search of this
Donegal,
crap. And
okay.
on the way, obviously, lots of hijinks, chases with this mob trying to get Peter Dinklage back, but they don't know why, so they're speeding off. Obviously, police chases. Like, whoa,
But why do they keep Peter Dinklage?
because they're trying to get him back to Neil Patrick Harris. Because they're like, whoa, why have we just ditched this man on us? Hang on, let's fucking give him back.
Hey, he's no one's property, right?
Is Peter Dinklage asking to go back to the mob though?
I mean, he's tied up. He's been kidnapped by Neil Patrick Harris. He's bound and gagged. They've bound in typical nonsense comedy fashion. They've gone, well, I don't know what to do with him. Fucking bound and gag him in the car. They don't know why. They don't know why they're doing it. Just in the car, go. Off they go.
The Hangover-esque.
Yeah. They don't know why they don't know why they're doing it. It doesn't make no sense. They just bound and gag him in the car. So Peter Dinklage can't escape anyway. Obviously being chased down, police chases, whoa, what the fuck's going on? Lots of hijinks. On the way, they stop, I don't know, some kind of Lucky Charms factory, cause a lot of havoc there. Guinness tour, cause havoc there. All the while trying to find Neil Patrick Harris to give back Peter Dinklage, like, look, you fucking kidnapped him, this ain't our fucking mess. All the while, stoned as fuck. You know, and eventually it will end with them obviously getting their ultimate munchie, which, I don't know, might be soda bread, might be, I don't know. Might be boiled ham and cabbage, I don't know.
Do you know what? Really weirdly, the longer that Jim let words fall out his mouth, the more they started to sound a little bit In Bruges-esque. And In Bruges is a fucking great film. But if it was like Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies meets In Bruges, I'd be like, do you know what? That is a Harold and Kumar film.
I'll admit, I glazed over about a quarter of the way in.
I mean, I've not seen.
I'm sure you did.
So
that is the pitch.
I mean,
That is the film.
Wait, why was he dressed as a leprechaun? Did we get to that?
Oh, because he lost a bet. So he's part of this mob, and they.
And why did
they had
Neil
some
Patrick
kind of-
Harris kidnap him?
I don't know. Because
Did
he was.
he-
Because he
did
was.
he-
Because
he was a real leprechaun trying to
He
get
was a
his
real
gold.
leprechaun. He thought he was going to. That's it. He thought he was going to. He was a real leprechaun, and he thought, oh, leprechaun, he can lead me to the pot of gold.
I kind
So
of
he's because he's drugged up. He's like, oh, he can lead me to the pot of gold, and then obviously he ditches it into Howard and Kumar, and they're like, oh, fucking hell, what's going on here? And yeah,
Have you seen movie 42?
No.
is this that awful spoof movie?
I don't know if you
Which
call
like
it-
spoofed a shitload of.
It's just got loads of famous actors in it, all being terrible, and it's not a spoof. It's almost like a
Anti-film.
sketch show thing.
Yeah.
And in that, fucking what's his name? The guy from 300,
Jared Butler.
Gerard Butler plays a leprechaun. Like they've digitally shrunk him down. It's weird.
So yes, that's why Neil Patrick Harris kidnapped him, because he's drugged up, sees the Peter Dinklage dressed as a leprechaun, thinks, oh, pot of gold, he can lead me there, wicked, and then that's
The best thing I can say about that pitch is that could definitely be the plot of one of those films.
Yeah, I could see them.
So
That's depressing that I could see them making that film.
that could get made.
and of course it all takes place around St. Paddy's Day.
That film will probably get made now. Now that you've put it out into
Well,
public domain.
Hollywood, if you are listening and you do go to make that film, I want a cut, because you've got it. It is on recording. It's me pitching this film.
Oh no, this is what happens.
So I have evidence. So if you make this film, I can take you to court and I will win because I have evidence.
This is what happens. Film gets made. He gets a big public profile. Next thing you know, Prime Minister. And we make it happen.
I feel like this is how V for Vendetta started. Like if there's a prequel for V for Vendetta, it's Jim
It all went
becoming Prime
downhill.
Minister. Yeah,
Yeah.
So-
Right.
Thumbs up, yes or no for my pitch?
kind of weirdly thumbs up
Yeah.
because I could see it being made
Yeah.
by
It's
Hollywood.
It's going to get made. We may as well thumbs it up.
My only problem is that why call it St Patrick's Day and have it only in Ireland? It should have a more international cast.
Because these films are quite centralised on a journey across a location. There's no need to be worldwide.
Yeah,
I mean, if you wanted to expand it worldwide, we could have them travelling from fucking America to Ireland to God knows where, to wherever else to celebrate. Probably fucking to London, where they probably celebrate
I'd
St
like-
Patrick's Day more than they do St George's Day.
No, you stick to your guns. Don't you get turned
But-
over by the studios.
I'd like it.
But I'm not. It's
Can
it's been set in Ireland. They're travelling around Ireland to get this pop.
Can I add something to it?
Yes.
Whereas they don't know the name of this thing, they like you're pronouncing it wrong and they can't pronounce it. They get to this place where they think it is. They ask for it, and what they ask for is haggis. And this person goes, "That's Scotland!" And it sets up the sequel of them travelling around Scotland.
On to the next one.
Yeah.
Well, spin that wheel, please.
Spin that wheel. Hang on. Sam!
Right, so as I was saying, I'm not technically pitching this. This would be that voiceover guy from the trailer for this film. So, are we ready?
This spring, get ready for the action blockbuster of the year as aliens prepare to give Earth a good battering. The world looks on as huge pan-shaped spacecraft hover above every major city on the planet. Well, mostly the ones we think Americans will recognize. Glaze in wonder as alien invaders destroy only well-known landmarks in a sinister game of iconic building battleships. But wait, don't get yourselves in a flap. There's a group of heroes from all around the world, well, mostly America. Okay, only from America, ready to save the day. Meet Captain Stephen Hiller, played by Chris Tucker, who is intent on personally welcoming every alien to Earth while flipping them off. Mild-mannered President Whitmore, played by Michael Caine, will do whatever it takes to help his country through this sticky situation.
Do you know that I used to be a pilot in the Gulf War?
And finally, even milder-mannered nerdy nerd and all-round geek David, played by Steve Buscemi, his plan, well, to give the aliens a cold so bad it will make man flu seem like normal women's colds. So, sit back, relax, and buckle up for a movie stacked with aliens, one-liners, dogfights, the ones with fighter jets, touching family moments, and a stripper. March 4th, the world will celebrate not getting flattened on Pancake Day. Only in cinemas this Tuesday.
I want to clap that, but you've also just ripped one of the worst films I've ever seen.
It's Independence Day.
Yeah,
But what if it was set on Pancake Day?
Yeah, I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
Disagree.
Yeah, I'm not giving you it.
What do you mean I'm giving
I'm not allowing you it. You're not allowed it. All you've literally just done is taken the film we've spent an hour speaking about and just gone, yeah, I'm going to make a trailer about it, put it on March 4th.
But, mate, what if Independence Day was never made? I'm saying this film was pitched. They pitched it.
I mean, if
but
Independence Day was never made, my life would be so much happier.
Instead of pitching it about Independence Day.
Yeah, the international effort going on there.
Yeah.
Well, okay, mostly Americans, but you know.
Well, only Americans.
Only Americans.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not having
Come on.
I'm not having it. I'm not having it. All you've done is shifted a shit film to a different day.
But you've got to admit.
Sorry. No.
You've got to admit,
No,
the
no.
ships do look a little bit like frying pans.
Sure, but I'm not letting you have it. Sorry.
No,
No,
not
no.
even with all the pancake references.
Even all the pancake references and the different cast, it's which I
Good
mean,
cast though, right?
I
Chris
mean,
Tucker.
even worse than Will Smith. That would be horrendous. You performed it well. I'll give you that one, but no,
No.
I'm not letting you have that.
Go
one.
fuck yourself. You
I'm
don't
not,
know
you're not
nothing.
having that one. Sorry.
Michael Caine's not happy.
So Sam's just wasted 5 minutes of my time by moving Independence Day to a different day. So,
Pancake Day.
Nick. And that, which is all, and that's another reason I get because I fucking hate pancakes. So
You hate pancakes?
Oh, awful things.
Mate, right, guys, just right. I think we need everyone to just message in. Jim's opinions on everything are backwards. Like whatever most people who hate pancakes.
Me.
You hate them.
Awful. Awful.
They can literally be whatever you want.
Yes, and they're awful.
Jim's like the anti-human.
Crepes, awful. Texturally awful. The bready pancakes, awful.
Tortilla, that's flat.
Well, it's not a pancake, really, is it? It's a fucking tortilla, and it makes something. And you can make something delicious in the form of a burrito.
Well, that cheeky little Scotch pancake.
Do you like an omelette? Do you like an omelette?
Pancake. It's like a thick, small.
It's like a
round
small
pancake.
American one.
Oh, mate.
Oh, they're fucking awful.
I don't get it. Right. Well,
Anyway,
Nick,
Guys,
this hinges on you right now.
Harold
This-
and Kumar, and apparently mine doesn't count. So
It doesn't. Sorry.
get ready for your palates to be cleansed. Okay.
I mean, it was a swing and a miss. You had a good chance, but like you said, you didn't count on the fact you put it on a day that I can't stand.
If you're not a fan of Pancake Day, you're not a fan of American Hoorah Independence Day, can I interest you, my friend, my English friend, in a little bit of St George's Day?
I don't know about this.
Hey?
I mean, this could be a winner because this is my wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow.
We got married on St George's Day, so
Wrap your ears round this, my friend. I've actually got some notes this time.
is it a rom-com?
I'm going, well, you're going to find out. There's
So
some
we
rom
mu-
and there's some con.
There could be some bias towards this one. But.
Okay, and for a little bit of context, there is currently the Euros football tournament going on.
Jesus.
There's quite a lot of national frustration up till this point with our team's performances. So that's just allow that to be a little bit. This is maybe an attempt at a bit of an antidote to some of that national frustration, shall we say? So without further ado, here we go. This is St George's Day. So little.
Is the film called St George's Day?
Yes.
Okay.
Happy with that?
Sure.
Okay. Little prologue. So setting, present day, in an isolated research station on the Isle of Man, sleepy-eyed geologist George Sterling,
Nice.
played by Daniel Radcliffe,
Of course he is.
woken from a snooze at his desk by a beeping on his geological equipment. Startled, he does some quick computer geometry.
Sorry,
Geometry.
what? Say that again.
Some quick computer geometry.
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 What is? So elaborate.
Mate, move on.
You have to
What
watch
is?
the
I
film.
want to know what geometry.
You'll
is.
have to watch the film.
No.
Puts his headphones on, his face loses all its colour, and he mutters, "It's a signal. It's a signal!" And he runs out of the office. Cut to England. It's World Cup time, taking place in the UK. Football fans are everywhere.
In April,
Yeah, well, you find out.
middle of the season.
No, it's not. No, it's not taking place on St George's Day.
Right, you've now lost me because it should. Why is it equal?
Yeah.
Bear with
The
me.
whole of Independence Day doesn't take place on Independence Day.
Thank you.
It takes place 2 days before.
Yeah.
Bear,
A World Cup. I mean, months after St George's Day.
bear with me. Bear with me.
Not if you're going for the next year.
Bear with me. Football fans are everywhere. The UK's Prime Minister, Joseph Bond, played by Colin Firth, who was a semi-pro footballer himself,
Yeah, nice. I used to play football, you know.
shares the national message spurring on the UK's team. Suddenly, across the world, huge spherical football-like structures surge up from the ground. Just as George Sterling manages to deliver his warning message to the government, giant speakers appear from the spheres, and suddenly, Underland, 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 na na. The giant balls open, smoke and ash spill out, and then chaos ensues as massive, squat, bald-headed warriors launch from the spheres, destroying all in their path with their superior magma-based technology. Oi, 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 oi. They all basically look like really sunburnt, squat gyms with hairy backs.
It's just Jim. You've just described Jim.
After
So my head is very sunburnt after the weekend away.
After short-lived battles across the world, the invaders neutralised all major human resistance and proclaimed themselves, the Underlanders from Underland, as victors. The Underlanders, they're basically all like absolute Cockney nutjobs.
Yeah,
Like the
brilliant.
worst English that you could possibly imagine. They're immortal
I'm
king.
sure Nick doesn't mean Cockneys. I
I'm
think
sure-
Not general, like the worst example of like,
Please tell me it's some
like
like Stephen
football.
Graham in this.
I mean, if Stephen Graham is not one of them, he's missed a trick.
Their immortal King Dragon,
Oh.
not Dragon, Dragon, played by Ron Perlman, doing like a
yeah,
proper
right,
Cockney
yeah.
accent, right?
Pullman good.
Like, yeah, they basically either all look like Jim or they all look like. Have you noticed how these days Wayne Rooney basically looks like he's made entirely out of pork pie filling?
Yeah.
They kind of all look a bit like that crossed
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Jim.
yeah.
So, so King Dragon explains that they are the prime, purest form of humanity, and their civilization has flourished underground for thousands of years. There used to be normal, bald-headed humans that lived overground, but were banished underground by the accursed warrior saint known simply as George. Dragon says now is the time for the Underlanders to rise up and claim their sacred right to enter a team into the World Cup. If they win, all overgrounders must shave their heads and submit to slavery for all time. So they enter a team, and basically there's a montage then of like all the Underlander football fans just being like the biggest, worst knobhead football fans,
hooligans,
like putting up the English to shame.
Jesus.
I imagine there's like scenes of like them in the pubs,
Like Millwall fans.
right? Like forget the 5 half challenge, they're doing like the 20 half challenge.
Nice.
Like, brother, come on, you fucking boys! All that kind of stuff, right? So there's a montage there. The tournament starts, and the Underlanders absolutely mince everyone with their extremely aggressive style of football and insistence on playing with a medicine ball. During their thrashing, this is for you by the way, during their thrashing of the USA's head coach, played by Mark Wahlberg, complains about foul play, and King Dragon melts him with his magna gun.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
You know, like remember on Mars Attacks when their
Yeah.
ray guns were like, and
Oh,
they
I
melt
love
people?
Mars Attack.
Cut to, meanwhile, George Sterling, Daniel Radcliffe, links up with resistant fighters led by hard-ass captain Georgia Penny, played by Florence Pugh, and hatches a plan to sneak into Wonderland through one of the giant footballs and deliver some kind of geo-bomb thing. As we reach the World Cup final, it's Underland versus England. But England's squad is decimated with injury and unable to field a team. Prime Minister Joseph Bond has no choice but to step up and call upon his retired teammates from his former clubs. And there's like a sick crew assembly montage where he recruits like his old teammates Danny Dyer, Ray Winston, Ian McShane, Tom Hardy, Sean Bean. Who's the guy you mentioned?
So you're not going to make this believable then and actually have some retired football players?
Shush. Who's the guy you mentioned?
Oh, Stephen Graham.
Right, Stephen Graham, he's in it as well. And head coach, Michael Caine.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah.
They all refer to Prime Minister Joseph Bond by his middle name, which they knew him by back in the day, Georgie. How about that? So we've got George, we've got Georgia, and we've got Georgie.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see that coming.
Nice.
Incredibly, the final reaches penalties. The fate of humanity will be decided on spot kicks, and at some point, Sean Bean gets tragically killed.
Yeah, brilliant. The medicine ball takes his head off.
Meanwhile, Georgia, and the crack team of special forces reach Underland just as the bomb is about to be set off. They make a startling discovery: it's really shit living underground. So with this knowledge in hand, they defuse the bomb and race back up to the thrilling finale where Prime Minister Joseph Georgie Bond scores the winning penalty. King Dragon says they'll destroy Earth and subjugate all humanity anyway. They just really wanted to play football. Just as Dragon is about to magma melt, the Prime Minister, Georgie, George and Georgia arrive and negotiate peace by offering the Underlanders a return to living above ground harmoniously. King Dragon agrees, providing they can all live in England, as that's where they're from originally. Prime Minister Bond agrees, everyone cheers, and someone pronounces that this day, in fucking the summer, will now be known as the new St. George's Day, right? But not just singular St. George's Day, plural.
Oh.
St. George's Day. Cut to 4 years later, the next World Cup in France, and like both the England and Underland fans have been like absolute nauseous. Everyone hates them. Nice. There you go.
You could put in there that they'd sent up a spy to check out how it was, and that was Wayne Rooney.
It was Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
That's all song.
Underland. I mean, there's several things that I absolutely hate about that. One, you're moving St. George's Day, which absolutely can't do.
It's the new one.
No,
and actually,
listen,
it's kind of a good opportunity to move St. George's Day, which is about some like guy that fought in the Crusades and stuff back in the day. Like, let's move on.
Who even knows?
Let's move on.
2, you ruined an absolute banger of a song. 3, far too overconvoluted.
Okay.
Overconvoluted.
I mean, that's basically not far off Independence Day, but with
Also,
It's like Independence Day meets.
I was getting there before far too many similarities to Independence Day. So you're never going to win me over when you're trying to throw fucking Independence Day on to Pancake Day and fucking moving St. George's Day, but also go, bit of Independence Day.
I mean, I kind of feel like me and Sam possibly understood the brief.
Yeah.
A little bit more than you did.
Yeah.
We are now.
We were repitching the film.
No.
Kind of a version.
That was
film.
not the briefing I got.
It was, what if we moved the film to a different holiday?
No. What Nick said was, what if we pitch a film that takes place on another public holiday? Not, what if we pitched Independence Day on
Harold and Kumar.
Hey, it was an easy pitch. At no point did he go, let's re-pitch Independence Day on a different
Then
day.
how did we both get it?
I don't know, because you fucking misread it.
I mean, my film isn't.
He missaid it and I misread it, but we've got what we thought.
He
was
specifically said we just pitch different holidays.
I didn't come out and say that. I just kind of thought that was the very logical thing.
Yeah.
We think of
like instead of recasting the film,
we're
repitching,
reimagining a version of.
Well,
anyway, hope you enjoyed our chat of the film and our recastings, which apparently only one of us understood.
not the person that wrote it or the person that did what he.
I read the message that he sent, so people will agree that.
Do you know what? Do a poll. I
will do a poll. What am I in the right? Am I the one that's got this correct?
Not ever. Not ever.
Don't need to do a poll about that, but do email
There's
let
several.
us know what you thought about the pictures.
Yeah.
And if you've got your own idea for a yearly celebratory day film, what could that be? And it doesn't have to be a invasion disaster film if you don't want it to be. It could be a drug-fueled stoner.
Maybe French Tom could do one on Bastille Day.
Maybe he could.
You know?
I'd love to hear French Tom's Bastille Day.
I mean, I'd rather he didn't, because he's still bitching at me for not reading his Pokemon pitch. So, I mean, it's just going to be another bitch fest from him. Read my pitch! Alright, Tom, I'll get to it.
Stop having a go at our one fan.
I'll get to it eventually, alright? It's massive, and these won't let me read it out in full. No. So I got to try and find time to fucking summarise it. So anyway, so thanks for joining us for another edition of Castrol. If you, like I say, if you like what you hear, you can leave us a little donation over on buymeacoffee.com/Castrol podcast. You can follow us over on socials at Castrol Pod. Email us at castrolpod@gmail.com. And of course, don't forget to follow and subscribe over on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, or wherever it is that you get your podcasts from. And of course, leave those 5-star reviews. Until next time, I've been Jim. Goodbye.
I've been Nick. Goodbye.
Yeah, and I've been Sam. Bye.
Movie casserole, casserole.